Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idamuttamam, Pratyaksha Avagamam, Dharmam Susukham Kartum Abhayam. Pratyaksha-vagamam dharmam Susukham kartum abhayam Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idamuttamam Pratyaksha-vagamam dharmam Susukham kartum abhayam. So, this knowledge, as we have begun yesterday, that idam te idam tu te guhyatamam parvakshami asubhyavi jnanam vijnana sahitam jajñatya moksha seva siva. Very important chapter. The most confidential knowledge, guhyatamam, and it is spoken by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even those who are liberated from this material contamination, they are called mukta jiva, liberated soul. And there are nitya mukta and nitya baddha. Nitya means eternally and mukta means liberated. And again nitya, eternally, baddha, condition. So, just like there are many persons in this state who have never seen what is the prison life. And there are many persons in this state, the majority of one's life is passed in the prison. Similarly, there are two natures, material nature and the spiritual nature. What we have seen, this nature, this universe, within the material nature. Similarly, there is another spiritual nature that is stated in the Bhagavad-gītā. Parastasmat tu bhava anya bhaktya sanatana. There is another nature. You cannot deny it. Where God's kingdom, creation, how far it is and how widespread it is, by your imagination you cannot determine. The so-called advancement of scientific knowledge is useless in the estimation of the total creation. This creation, material creation, is 1/4 exhibition of the total creation. And the 3/4 exhibition of the total creation is the spiritual world. So, there are also, like here we have got so many planets, and each planet is full of living entities. As this planet is full of living entities, similarly in other planets, upper, middle, down, there are millions of different types of living entities. It is a false statement that only on this planet there is living entities, in other planets there are no living entities. That is nonsensical. There are living entities exactly like this. Maybe the climate, the situation little different, just like your climate, India's climate, even on this planet there are different climatic situation, European, American, Australian, Asian. So that is God's varieties of creation. So we have to take knowledge from the perfect person. So what is the difference between this material world and the spiritual world? In the material world, we are conditioned, and in the spiritual world, we are liberated. This is the difference. In material, what is conditioned life? Conditioned life means subjected to the rules and regulations of the material nature. That is conditioned life. Just like we have got this body, this is also a condition of the material nature. We have got different types of bodies. Why? Because we are conditioned. According to our karma, we have got different types of body. 8,400,000 of bodies. So, liberated life means not to go under the condition of this material nature. That is liberated life. In the conditioned life, there are 4 defects. Out of many other conditions, so far our knowledge is concerned, that is defect. Why? Because we commit mistake. Every one of us, we commit mistake. We are illusion. Our senses are imperfect. And we have a tendency to cheat. This is 4 defects of conditioned life. But the liberated life, they have no such conditions. And another condition is, you have to live on the 3-fold miseries. That miserable conditions pertaining to the body and mind. Even if you are opulent externally, if you are sick, if your mind is not in proper condition, you suffer. That is called adhyatmic. And there are other miseries offered by other living entities. Just like some friend all of a sudden becomes your enemy and he tries to inflict some injuries upon you. You are full of anxieties. This is called adhibhoti. Even there is no enmity. There are so many living entities, just like bugs, mosquitoes, and other animals. They are always prepared to give us trouble. This is called adhibhoti. Adhyatmic, adhibhoti, and adhidoivik, which is beyond, every miserable condition is beyond your control. But especially adhidoivik, famine, pestilence, overflow, no rain, scarcity, this is called adhidoivik. So this is called conditioned life. So if you have got perfect knowledge, that is described here, that jnanam vijnana sahitam, if you have got perfect knowledge, then the result will be jajgyata. If you possess that perfect knowledge, then moksha se asubha. These conditions we don't want. That is the real fact. We don't want any miserable condition due to my mind, due to my body, or due to other living entities, or natural disturbances, birth, death, old age, disease. We don't want. These are inauspicities of life. But if you have got perfect knowledge, then Krishna says that you become liberated from all these inauspicities. That is the subject matter of this chapter. Therefore, Krishna says that this knowledge is Rajavidya. We have got different departments of knowledge, university and institutes, but nowhere this subject matter is discussed, or there is any department. There are, suppose medical department. What is the medical department? To give us relief from disease condition. But there is no department which discusses how to become free from all diseases. That is no department. There is no such department. There is department how to give you relief from disease. There is department how to manufacture very effective medicines. But there is no department where knowledge is given that no more disease. Is there any department? Therefore, this knowledge which is given by Krishna, it is called Rajavidya. Rajavidya means the king of knowledge. If you learn this knowledge, then you become completely free from the conditioned stage of this material world. That's what it is called Raja. Raja means king, and Vidya means knowledge. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, and at the same time, it is the most confidential knowledge. Guhyam, Guyyatamam, very confidential. It is not disclosed to ordinary man. This knowledge is not meant for. Suppose we are discussing this knowledge, and when we say, by understanding this knowledge, there is no more birth, death, old age and disease. Ordinary person with less brain substance, they will say, how it is possible? Therefore, it is very confidential. It is not open to everyone. It is meant for selected person. If I say that I shall give you relief from birth, death, old age and disease, you will not believe it. Therefore it is Raya Guhyam. Guhyam means very, very confidential. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram. Pavitra means very pure, because unless we are purified, we cannot be free from these four miserable conditions, especially, namely birth, death, old age and disease. Birth, death, old age is meant for this body, and the body is obtained by the spirit soul. The spirit soul is pure. There is no doubt about it, because it is part and parcel of Krishna or God. So God is pure. Just like gold is gold, and the fragments of gold is also gold. The same quality. But the fragments of gold sometimes becomes mixed up with dirty things. So we are in the same condition, becoming fragments of God. We are sometimes put into this material world, and we are materially contaminated. So this knowledge, Rajavidya, most confidential, if we can learn it, then we become pure, completely pure. Pavitram idam uttamam. Uttamam. Ut means udgata, transcendental. And tama means this material world, darkness. In the material world, the nature is darkness, just like at night. It is darkness. This is the nature of this material world. But there is illumination on account of the sun. The God has created the sun to give us light. Sometimes we have heard that on account of absence of the sunshine, they commit suicide in Switzerland, no? Where? Scandinavia, they say. So the darkness is very, very disgusting. But this material world is dark. To give us little relief, Krishna, God has given us the sun. The day before, yesterday I think, yesterday, in the morning, we saw while coming on the plane how the sun was coming through the sea nicely. Within a second, the whole light came. So this is God's arrangement. They don't think that this arrangement, exactly in the time, 6 o'clock in the morning, immediately the sun comes out of the sea and gives you light. Because this material world is dark. So not to give you relief. Otherwise you will commit suicide. God is so kind. He is giving you light. So Uttamam. So if we can go back to home, back to Godhead, there is no darkness. It is all illuminated. It is stated in the Shastra that there is no need of sun, there is no need of moon, there is no najatra bhasati surya na sasanka na pavaka. In the spiritual world, there is no need of sun, there is no need of moon, there is no need of electricity or power. That is the description here in the Bhagavad-gītā is mine. Na jatra bhasati surya, na sasanka, na pavaka. We cannot imagine how without sun, without moon, without electricity, without fire, one can live. Yes, but there is a world like that. You do not require sunshine, you do not require, they are all illuminated. So that is Uttama. Udgata Tama Jasmat, the Sanskrit word, from which the darkness is completely eradicated. There is another Bengali verse. Krishna Shuddha Sama Maya Andhakar Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Mayar Odhika. The meaning is that just like Krishna is just like sun, and Maya, illusion, is just like darkness. So as the sun being present, there is no access of darkness. Similarly, if you keep Krishna always within your heart, there is no more darkness of this material world. Krishna Shuddha Sama Maya Andhakar Jaha Krishna Tahani. The example is given. If you keep yourself always Krishna within your heart, Krishna is within your heart. It is not that you have to create a Krishna or God, or you have to call. He is there. But due to darkness, we cannot see him. But by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, Chetadatmana Marjanam, by cleaning the core of our heart, you will be able to see Krishna within yourself. God. Jinavam upajantite. The instruction is how he can come back, go back to home, back to Godhead. Mokshasi or subhat, being free from all inauspicity. That stage can be attained. How? Tesam satadajuktanang bhajatang pritipurvakam. If you engage yourself always in his service, satata juktana, satata means always engaged in his service, bhajatang pritipurvakam. And worshipping the Lord with priti, love. Priti, bhajatang priti purvakam. So this is being instructed to the students who have entered this institute how to worship the deity. The deity worship is there. Just to give chance to the devotee, satatam, satatajuktana, always engaged in Krishna's service. From early morning, up past 3, 4, up to night 10, they are engaged. That is called satatajuktana. Only a few hours given to them for taking rest, because after all you have got this material body. It requires little rest. Otherwise, there is no question of resting. 24 hours engaged in the service of Krishna. So that is possible as you become advanced. Just like the 6 Goswamis, they attained that state. They were not sleeping at night, giving service. It is said, Nana Sastra Vicharanai Kunipuno Sadharma Sangasthapako Lokanang Hitakarino Nidyahara Bhujita. This is spiritual life. The more you conquer over the necessities of this body, our necessities, the created necessities, they are necessities of the body. The body requires to eat. The body requires rest. The body requires sex. The body requires defense. But the soul does not require. So more you become advanced in spiritual consciousness, the material necessities become minimum. Nidyahara vihara kadi vidito. That is possible. That is not story. There are many instances, and the more you become advanced in Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, these necessities of life, necessities of body, because body is different from the spirit soul. The necessities of the body is material, and the necessities of the soul is spiritual. But unfortunately, although the spirit is there, we are so much absorbed in material consciousness, we do not understand what is spirit soul. We are simply busy in taking care of the body. So this is not very good condition. This is material condition, and it is very risky if you simply to take care of the body means creating different desires. I shall be happy in this way. I shall be happy in this way. So nature's mercy is that as soon as you think that you will enjoy life like this, she will give you good opportunity. That means changing a body wherein you can enjoy the material facilities very easily. I have several times given example. There are different types of bodies. Animals, birds, beasts, demigods, human beings, many varieties of life. 8,400,000. Higher life, lower life. So those who are associating with the base qualities of material nature, they get lower life. That is natural. Just like you contaminate a kind of disease, it will become manifest in due course of time. So this is going on. But if we understand this knowledge, as Krishna is speaking, Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitramidam Uttamam, then Prataksham Avagavam Dharma. Dharma, one meaning of dharma is the basic principle of our life, or the occupational duty of our life, dharma. occupational duty of our life. That is called dharma. Generally in English, dharma is translated by the word religion, a kind of faith. But actually, dharma means the characteristic. That is real meaning of dharma. Characteristic. That's how you can understand by the characteristic in the chemical laboratory, they test different chemicals. So the heading is characteristic. This chemical looking such and such color, the granules are like this, the taste is like this, the reaction is like this. If you put with this, it will react like this. So many, if certain chemical comply with all the characteristics, then it is declared pure. So suppose what is the characteristic of sugar? Everyone knows it must be sweet. If sugar and salt, both of them externally seem the same, white. But you have to understand which is sugar and which is salt by tasting. So there are different tastes of characteristics. If sugar becomes salty, you say, oh, it is not sugar. Throw it. And if salt becomes sweet, you throw it. Similarly, dharma means everything has got a special character. That is called dharma. So what is our dharma? Living entities. We are living entities. We may be in different forms. It doesn't matter. 8,400,000 of forms. But what is the actual business? The actual business is that every one of us giving service to others. This is all. That is enunciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jiver Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. This is the characteristic of living entity. Living entity is meant for giving service to Krishna. This is the characteristic. When this characteristic is not found or lacking, that means it is disease condition or that is material condition. Just like this finger. What is the characteristic of finger? The finger characteristic, it is a part and parcel of my body. As soon as I say, my dear servant's finger, please capture this immediately. Immediately. My dear servant's finger, come on the head and give me some itching. Yes. This is characteristic. The finger, I ordered, please pick up this rasgulla. Yes. Yes. Give it here. Yes. The finger cannot eat. Just try to understand. The finger, if he gets on rasgulla, nice, tasteful sweetmeat, the finger will never try to smash it and spoil it. The fingers immediately will take, he will find the psychology, even from a child. The child captures with the finger some nice sweetmeats and immediately puts it. Why? The child could smash it and taste this also. That is not possible. Study nature. You take the very nice sweet, but you cannot, the fingers cannot spoil it. The process is that by nature the child knows that if I put into the mouth, it goes to the stomach, and if it is digested, these fingers will be healthy, the eyes will be healthy, the leg will be healthy, hands will be healthy, all parts of the body will be healthy. This is nature. Just like another example is given. Jatha tarur mula nisechanena tippanti taskando bhujopasakha. Just like tree, if you plant anything, you pour water in the root, it goes, transferred to the branches, to the twigs, to the leaves, to the flower, everyone, if you put water. Jatha tarunmula nisechanena tippanti satskanda bhujopasakha pranopaharach jathendriyana. And by giving food to the stomach, that all the different parts of the body, limbs and senses, they become healthy. Similarly, sarvahanam achyuteja, if you worship Krishna, Achyuta, then the whole world will be satisfied. Because he is the root. It is said in the Bhagavad-gītā, aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravattate iti matya bhajante man buddha bhava samannita. One who understands, this is Rajavidya. He must know how to work. We are manufacturing so many ways of happy life. Thisism, that plan, so many plans. We are seeing suggestions, so many suggestions in the television. This is the problem, this is suggestion, this is problem. Full of new problem, new suggestion. But because we are lacking this Rajavidya, the king of knowledge, we are perplexed. But if you know that Krishna is the root cause of everything, and if we serve Krishna, then every problem will be solved immediately. This is called Rajavidya. Rajavidya, Rajaguyam, and Pratyakha Bhagavam Dharma. Just like I have given the example that the different parts of the body, they are suffering from different diseases. But if you make good treatment, if you take the proper medicine and put it in the stomach, then immediately you will understand, yes, I am getting relief. Or suppose you are hungry, you are, on account of your hunger, you are feeling headache, you cannot see through your eyes properly, you cannot hear, you cannot walk, so many things, problems will arise. But as soon as you put some foodstuff, nourishing foodstuff, immediately you will feel strength and you will be happy. That is called pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means direct. Avagavam, dharmam. If you are hungry and if you are given very nice, nutritious, palatable food, you haven't got to take any certificate from others. You will understand yourself. Yes, I am now feeling strength. I am now feeling energy. This is called pratyakham avagavam dharma. Similarly, if you take to Krishna consciousness, that is the process, then you will feel automatically how you are satisfied. Pratyakham avagavam dharma. These boys, these American, Europeans, they are all Western country, belong to the Western country. Why they are sticking to this Krishna consciousness? Because they are feeling directly happiness. There is no doubt about it. Ask anyone. This is pratyakham avagavam dharma. And susukham, to execute this dharma, this transaction, it is very, very happy. Don't you see? What is their business? They are not going to the factories to work 12 hours. They are simply chanting and dancing. This is their business. And when they are hungry, they are taking very nutritious prasad. This is called susukham. Very happy. They haven't got to work in the factory, in the mine, in the sea for extracting oil or coal. They haven't got. We have no such business. We are simply engaged in chanting, dancing and eating Krishna prasad. susukham, pratakham avagavam. Practically you can perceive, and how happy it is you can perceive. Uttam abhayam. To execute this business of Krishna consciousness is so easy and happy. And whatever you do, a little, it is your permanent asset. It will never be spoiled. You'll find in the Bhagavad-gītā there, Suchinang simatangehe yoga bhrasta sanjayati. This is called bhakti yoga. Suppose somebody is enjoying, but Maya is very strong. If he falls down, he could not execute the Krishna consciousness program completely in this life. Mostly, if we simply stick, there is no difficulty. But if voluntarily we give up, there is another thing. What is the wrong there? Chant, dance and take prasad. You haven't got to work. You haven't got to go to the field work or to the factory. Still, if you don't accept it, you fall down. So that is your choice. But even if you fall down, because for a few days you join Krishna consciousness movement, the resultant actions for so much time is permanent asset. Permanent asset. What is that permanent asset? That is stated in the Bhagavad-gītā. That suchinang simatangehe yoga bhrasta sanjayati. Those who are fallen from this Krishna consciousness, their next life is guaranteed a human life. Because others, there is no guarantee. Tatha dehantara prapti, according to one's karma, he can get the body of a dog, cat, hog or demigod. There is no guarantee that. Krishna says, Tatha dehantara prapti. Antara means another. He does not say that this body he will get. But if one is Krishna's devotee, then there is guarantee. What is that guarantee? Suchinang simatange. He will take birth in a very rich family or in a very nice Brahman and Vaishnav's family. If he gets a Vaishnav, birth in a Vaishnav's family, just like we have got so many children among our Grihastha devotees, how fine they are. They are getting Krishna consciousness from the beginning of their life. That means in the past they advance in Krishna consciousness. Somehow or other they failed to complete. Now they have got again chants. Again in the temple, dancing and chanting from the very beginning of life. So this is the opportunity. So this knowledge, Rajvidya Rajagayam, Patakham Avagam Susukham Kortum Abhayam. Abhayam means in ordinary fruitive activities, whatever you do, suppose by karma, by material activities, fruitive activities, become very rich man or very learned man, very good office, but everything will be finished with your death. As soon as the body is finished, all your asset finished. But if you become a devotee, your body may be finished, but the soul is eternal. The soul will carry your assets of Krishna consciousness, and nature will give you another chance of taking birth in a very rich family or in a Vaishnava family. To get birth in a Vaishnava family is greater asset than to take birth in rich family. Rich family means there is no economic problem. But on account of richness one may fall down. But if one takes birth in a Vaishnava family, there is no more fall down. He makes progress further and further. In this way he is allowed again go back to home, back to garden. Thank you very much.